everybody. Welcome to Impossible Coin. My name is Brian Cartwright, and I have undergone my greatest transformation, a sex change. Coming at me live from somewhere in Ohio, Tegan Somerset.
Hey, I'm Tegan.
That was so convincing.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna work.
That was not gonna work. No, I'm sorry. This is actually Tegan Somerset, and actually coming at me live from somewhere in West Texas is Rocky Hardy.
Right, I'm actually Rocky.
And actually Brian is unfortunately out of office today.
It's true.
It happens. You know, we've decided to grant him this Labor Day weekend.
Oh yeah, that's right. Brian finally gets a day off.
Brian finally gets a day off. We are allowing him to celebrate Labor Day weekend. We hope he is enjoying it and appreciating the stuff. I don't know what happens on Labor Day. People cook out, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
Alex got a pumpkin spice latte. Like, that's what we did. We supported our local baristas.
Oh, so, my normal grocery store, Big 8, has unfortunately gone out of business.
Aw, that sucks.
It's fine. Most Big 8s actually went out of business about a decade ago. This one just happened to survive. But in its place, we have a different grocery store chain now, Food King. And they just did their grand opening this weekend, Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
And Food King's kind of interesting. One, all the prices are wrong and everyone seems to be okay with it.
What do you mean all that? What?
On their advertisements and in the store, whenever you see like a listed price, like for example, salad tomatoes, 64 cents a pound, plus a 10% fee is on every single item in the store.
What?
Right. But hear me out, okay? So this is what the grocery does. The Food King, they have a very streamlined business model. They don't buy from like outside distributors. They run their own warehouses. They buy directly from like farmers and like cultivators, etc., ranchers, whatever. And they don't really do advertising outside of those mail-in ads. And in exchange, they sell everything at cost, which is the price that you actually see whenever like anything is up there. And the 10% fee is apparently the cost of doing business. So they want everyone to be able to like finagle that math in their head, and it's always 10%. I check my receipts, and I've known Food King for years. I usually go down to the valley whenever I want to go see them, but now they're around the corner. But yeah, I thought that like my grocery becoming a lot more sparse was like the extent of like coronavirus, and maybe some of that's definitely true, but it looks like they were transitioning to like do Food King this weekend.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, normally you don't know how much you're going to pay for groceries until you get to the end of the thing because, like, sales tax is a thing and no one wants to fucking calculate it.
Sure.
And I get that.
Yeah.
But now, not only... Do you still have to do sales tax then? Do you have to do sales tax and the 10%?
Yeah, if you want to do it on your own, yeah, you have to do sales tax and you 10%. It is a line item on your receipt, basically.
Okay.
So, like, you get your subtotal, and then, like, you get, like, the 10% fee, which is just, moved over a decimal, plus the sales tax. And that's what you pay.
Uh-huh. I hate that.
It's definitely kind of annoying, Tegan.
Wow, that sounds very annoying. Like, I already don't know how much I'm paying for groceries. I'm just picking stuff that I like, but like, wow, I'd never be able to figure that out. Fuck.
But the good news is that even with the 10%, like, fee added on top, they are really competitive prices.
Okay.
Because, like, what they're doing is, like, at cost plus 10%, instead of, essentially the voodoo that, like, other, like, grocery stores do. Like, Walmart's a good example, where, like, they just figure, they know what it is at cost, but, like, they'll say, like, you know what, people are used to paying, I don't know, $5 for kitchen gloves, so we'll just charge $5. Even if we found a supplier that does it cheaper, like, it's, like, 60 cents or whatever, or it's, like, $2.50 for the pair, like, we'll charge $5 because we know people will always pay $5 for kitchen gloves. And so, like, since they're straight up just doing at cost plus 10%, there are some things where, like, it isn't the best deal. And Walmart's really good at just, like, chopping some stuff and willing to take a loss on certain items in the store. Everything's really straightforward in Food King because it's always plus 10%. That's just what it is.
Plus sales tax.
Yeah, plus sales tax. Sure.
Plus 10% plus sales tax.
Right. So, like, here it's, like, 18%, but, like, that's 18% above cost instead of, like, whatever they decided to charge for it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes more sense. I still have no idea what anything costs. You said you were going to teach me how to coupon, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. First couponing tip is that you want to cast a wide net for looking for coupons, because obviously your local coupons won't always have your best value available. And you want to use big chain stores and coupons that, like, usually print on a national scale, which you can find online. Like, there are databases. People use those. And a really good place to, like, circle around is actually the South. So, like, if you find, like, a like, competitive, like, coupon that's, like, listed in some place, like Arkansas or Alabama, and it's not, like, limited to those locations, you can use them anywhere, and they have to honor it. Like, it's not even like a managerial discretion type of thing. It's just like, cool, I'll just call corporate because I brought this coupon and you don't want to use it. And, like, they usually don't want the fight. So, like,
and it's a valid non-expired coupon. That's the trick.
Yes, exactly. And so that's how you get, like, really goofy deals on stuff. And they usually give better deals to places in the South because, like, they're relatively cash poor more often than not. And so, like, they use those to stay in business there. But we can use those, you know, to our benefit here. It takes a bit of time to, like, get that stuff together. And once again, you do end up buying a lot of random shit that you don't immediately have a use for. So it's careful to, like, you know, not get crazy on the high on savings, because that's happened more than a couple of times. People I've seen enter the world of couponing. But it's definitely a good way to, like, snatch up some stuff on bulk.
I do know a girl that I used to work with who did have, like, 5 crates, like milk crates of toothpaste.
Yeah.
Because, like, every time she had a coupon for it, she got, like, she could stock several, like, shelters and stuff with all the crap she has in her basement. It's all coupons, man. It's wild.
Yeah. Luckily, perishables don't tend to go on couponing that well. Also, like, clothing and fashion, especially when you start getting into, like, the end of seasons, you know, like late November, late June. There's a lot of stuff at department stores that, like, have incredible discounts, like north of, like, 50%. And that's something that could be played around with, but that's a bit trickier because those stores don't tend to be national. There are a couple, like, say, TJ Maxx that have really widespread, like, locations, but digging for those particular coupons are a bit trickier.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably make something a bit more condensed later so I can have, like, a real rant. Oh, that reminds me. Joe's organizing a, like, presentation party, and I'm not sure if it's going to be in 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now. And I'm debating what I'm going to do my topic on. Maybe couponing could be a thing. You kill 2 birds with 1 stone. It's like a 3-minute presentation. But I'm also gravitating to, like, a presentation of romantic comedies as science fiction for human interactions.
I do want to hear that. If you do that, can we also make that one for Patreon?
Yeah.
Because that sounds fucking cool.
Absolutely. I'll do, like, a run of it definitely for the party. Then, like, I'll record it later with, like, you know, notes, maybe some extra heckling, and, like, it'll be, like, a short Patreon thing.
Okay. Huh. I hadn't thought about them that way. Don't like it.
You don't?
Hate it. Hate it entirely, actually.
Romantic comedies as human interaction science fiction pieces?
Yep.
Oh.
Hate it.
Well, like...
Want to hear more. Dislike.
I mean, some of them are bad. Like,
Some of them are bad?
Yeah.
Have you watched a romantic comedy?
Tegan, I am a romantic comedy aficionado, and some of them are really good. Like, Sleepless in Seattle, I think, is a really good human interaction piece, even if it's, you know, really far-fetched in terms of, like, what people end up doing. There are some more that are a bit more grounded these days. Like, Desperados is, like, one that's really close to my heart. And I talked a little bit on How Do You Know, starring Reese Witherspoon and Paul Rudd on this show. But, you know, there's definitely a lot of those where, like the compilation things, like, even, like, I don't even really like Love Actually. out of, I don't know what, the 6-7 stories that they tell in that film, maybe 2 of them are worthy of a film. And, like, they don't really lockstep as well. I did like Crazy Stupid Love, which is, you know, a little trashy, to be honest, as far as, like, dramas go. But I think it was a decent human interaction piece, not necessarily even because of the romance. Like, I mean, sure, like, Ryan Gosling meeting Emma Stone was pretty good, but the real story of that film was Ryan Gosling's character meeting Steve Carell. Or even stuff like Date Night, which is also a Steve Carell joint with Tina Fey, which is just about a, like, kind of exacerbated couple that go on a crazy night and rediscover what they like about each other. Yeah, but romantic comedy is a really wide thing, and it has a lot of potential, but I feel like it's usually approached from the wrong perspective. But we're not a podcast about rom-coms. We're a podcast about video games.
Thank God. I would have quit this show a long time ago if we were a podcast about rom-coms. Rom-coms are boring.
Rom-coms are kind of cool.
Rom-com? Okay, being the demographic that rom-coms are almost, like, exclusively catered to, like, most of them, very, very boring.
I accept that.
The meet-cutes are, like, okay, and then, like, the entire plot is just too rushed for it to be believable to me, so, like, eh.
Right, okay, see, that's the problem, because, like, if rom-coms are human interaction pieces, their goal isn't to, like, get these two people together. And I understand that's a formula that a lot of rom-coms use. Like, it's like, hey, what have these two people met? What are these two people that have different beliefs met? What are these two people that, like, diametrically hate each other meet?
But what if we just took that fan fiction that I read and we made it a movie with real people?
I don't want to talk about Twilight. I don't want to talk about it. But, like, all that borrows from, like, the idea of fucking You've Got Mail, right? Because, like, you know, Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan are two people that are in the publishing industry, or the book-selling industry, really. One of them runs, like, a small bookstore, and, like, you know, local, salt-of-the-earth thing.
Right.
The other one runs a big box bookstore, like Barnes & Noble. And they, like, end up communicating kind of in this online dating sort of thing without actually meeting and learning about each other, like what they do or whatever. But they are able to form a human connection because they're able to speak to each other honestly under the guise of anonymity. And then, like, the second act twist is, like, what if they find out who each other is? And, like, Tom Hanks is trying to buy a lot in her area so he can build a bookstore that will obviously put Meg Ryan's bookstore out of business. And how does their relationship evolve past that point? And, like, that is a meaningful question. And it's also a good film, but there's just been, like, hundreds of lesser retellings of this same kind of dynamic. And, like, it misses the point, because the point isn't how do we get these two people together. It's what happens when these people interact in a localized space. There's another good film that recently came out, Straight Up, which is a story of a, like, gay man who interacts with a perfectly nice human woman. And they both have intense chemistry. Like, they talk for hours. They spend all this time together. But, like, they don't want to really, like, have sex. Or rather, the guy doesn't want to have sex with her because, you know, he's gay. And she's not super, like, you know, like, she's not hypersexual or anything like that. But, like, you know, she has needs. And, like, over time, like, they do spend a lot of time together. They share a bed. They live together, more or less. They have these endless conversations, and they thoroughly enjoy their time together. It's just like, when it comes to sex, this does not work. And the film doesn't even really wrap up, like, how that ultimately ends. There is, like, a big confession. And, like, there's, like, an after credit sequence that, like, implies that maybe they try polyamory. But the idea is that these people want to be part of each other's lives. And they have this incredible thing in between them. And the goal, like, us as viewers, like, sure, we may want them to be together, and they definitely want to be together. But the question is more, what happens when these people interact, and how do their differences reconcile? Yeah, but I don't know. Rom-coms are made wrong because they're asking fundamentally the incorrect questions. I think that's a conversation that's worthy of having. I think I can condense it into 3 minutes. I did this, and I don't know how long. But, Tegan, what video games have you been playing?
I've been playing exactly one video game.
Okay. Is Animal Crossing?
Exactly one. Yeah, no, it's not Animal Crossing. Actually, I lied. So, like, the September update came, and, like, there's supposed to be pine cones and acorns and, like, a bunch of limited DIYs and stuff for fall.
For sure.
Have not checked it out at all. Have not logged in like 2 weeks now. I feel bad. A little bit. And I don't feel that bad. I feel a little bad.
A little bad, for sure.
I want to, like, finish my whole museum and stuff, but, like, you know, I'm cool right now.
Plus, you got a lot of those September fish, like, early, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at catching, like, the bugs and the fish. I caught everything that was available in October. So if there's some stuff that's, like, September exclusive, I'll be missing that. And, like, some of the stuff that's, like, late at night, you know, like the 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. catches, I'm usually missing those just because of my work schedule.
Right.
But other than that, like, I'm pretty ahead of it, so... That's nice. No, the game that I've been playing is called Spiritfarer.
Okay.
And it's one that when, oh god, not this year, I think it was last year for E3 or something. It was like, there was like a preview trailer for it for Nintendo's E3 presentation, and I was like, that looks like a cool game. And then we never talked about it again.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's out now, and it is... This is a hard recommend from Tegan, and Tegan doesn't hard recommend things that aren't like The Legend of Zelda particularly often, but this is a hard recommend.
Okay, tell me about it.
So, you play as Stella, and if you play 2-player, you also play as her cat, Daffodil.
Okay.
I love her cat, she's so cute. Her cat is big and fluffy like Roman.
Mm-hmm.
And you get this thing called the Everlight, which is what allows you to do the job of the Spiritfarer. And basically, what you have to do is you go around collecting spirits, and you bring them onto your boat, and you help them kind of let go of their lives so that they're ready to move on. That's what you do. Almost all the spirits that you collect, the first couple spirits that you collect, like, know you. They know who you are. Okay. They are related to you, Stella, in some way.
Okay.
And then the ones later that you get don't necessarily know who you are. You weren't related in life or anything, but they recognize that you're the Spiritfarer, and you do things to help them to get them on your boat so you can kind of help them move on.
That actually sounds like a really elegant progression of difficulty tied to, like, narrative and character.
It is very good. There are a couple places where you're a little stuck. Like, there's definitely, like, walls in some places, but they aren't walls that, like, aren't fun to navigate around. Like, I'm at a point where I can't build one machine because I need another machine. I can't build that machine because I don't have the ability to get the thing that I need. Like, I can't harvest the material to build that first machine, and I can't harvest the material because I'm missing a boat upgrade.
For sure.
Like, but, so, like, I have to do all this other stuff. I have to, like, gather literally just, like, basically money, which are called gleams. They're, like, little bits of light that travel in jellyfishes? I don't know. We're not going into that. Okay. I have to gather enough gleams so that I can upgrade my boat so that I can do the next part. And, like, it was a roundabout way. Like, I had to look around online a little bit to be like, what the heck am I missing? But so far, I've helped the first 2 spirits pass on, and they're very good. Interesting. They're very interesting. They're very good.
Okay.
They're not good, like, I have not cried yet.
Okay.
So there's that. But I don't know that that's what the game wants you to do.
Okay. Sort
of thing. Like, both times I felt kind of like something inside me has, like, settled a little bit. Not in a negative way, just in, like, a, oh, okay, kind of way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Kind of sounds like a...
It's very, very good.
Is it like a Tetris feeling? Like, you know, like the idea... Not really, like, of accomplishment. Like, it's not like you, like, hit the Tetris for 4 lines, but, like, kind of like you found, like, an L block, and you, like, found a place where it fits, like, flush.
Yeah, and you, like, eliminate all the things, and it's just, like, a good... There's definitely, like, a flow... It's like finishing a good book.
Okay.
or like a good series, not one you want to scream about, but one that like you felt connected to.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that kind of thing.
I remember like Brian was talking about designing a game or something like that, and it was like he wanted to make like a game as if you were in a graveyard helping people pass on. And like Spiritfarer feels like it would fit that niche.
It does fit that niche. It really does. It's very good. It doesn't ask like a ton of you mentally.
Okay.
Or physically. I don't feel like it's asking for something that you can't provide. It's more like it's offering you something, and whether or not you take it is up to you.
For sure. Yeah. It's about going through it.
Yeah, and it's been very good. I had 5 people on my boat, and now I have 4 people on my boat. All the people, like, around you are in, like, cloaks. Like, okay, so like, how the Spectre of Death is, like, this guy in a robe, right? And you can't see his face sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And he just, like, comes up and... So everybody around you is in a fucking cloak, and you can't see their faces. And, like, spirits that you can help have, like, a little shadow above them, sort of thing, that's, like, an illusion to their form. And then when they come on your boat, they take that form. So, like, the first person who you help, her name is Gwen, and she takes the form of, like, a deer. She walks on 2 legs, though. Like a deer. And then, like, the next person comes on your boat, and they're a snake. And there's a frog. And, like, they're all different, like, animal adjacent. Mm-hmm. It's almost furries, but it's not quite furries, you know? It's very interesting. The whole thing's... I just think it's neat that, like, the characters who are definitely dead are the only ones who don't look like they're definitely dead. It's neat. It's neat. It's very neat. Recommend. If you get it on Switch, though, be warned that periodically, when you're, like, getting off your boat, it'll be like, oh, a software error has occurred, and then it'll take you back to the title screen. The game autosaves all the fucking time, so you might lose, like, 2 minutes of travel, that's it.
Yeah, I remember when I was playing through Crosscode, there were a couple of errors. Specifically, you get, like, a thing... Whenever you're, like, traveling in the overworld, if you fight a monster, or if you, like, destroy some sort of plant or whatever, the game will keep track of it, like an encyclopedia. It also has, like, full story synopses and, like, character bios. It's actually really comprehensive. But for some reason on Switch, it would, like, basically crap out whenever I try to access something in the encyclopedia. And it turned out it was a known bug that was on the PC, but, like, they had patched it. And at the time... What happened is that apparently their initial submission and their, like, patch for the current version that fixes that had to be separately, like, filed through, like, Nintendo's, like, indie submission process.
Gotcha.
And it delayed the game's, like, update by, like, 3 weeks. So, like, for, like, 3 weeks after it came out, I was basically messing around with this essentially game-breaking bug. And then afterwards, the patch came through, and then it was fine. Yeah.
I'm sure if there is a patch, it'll fix it. It's not really, like, an inconvenience at this point for me. It's more like the game goes to the loading screen and I go, oh, well, I'll just take a stretch and I'll get a snack and, like, that kind of thing. Because it's not like it's a very often thing that happens. It's, like, once every hour and a half, 2 hours, you know? And never in the middle of, like, some kind of scripted thing. It's only, like, when I'm trying to get off the boat. Oh, okay. Which is convenient.
Yeah. Well, for sure.
But yeah, it's very neat. It's free on Xbox with Game Pass. On the Switch, it's $29.99. PlayStation failed to tell me via Google how much it costs. Oof. But it's very good. Highly recommend. Very much recommend. Gonna be talking about it at Game of the Year, I'm sure. Brian, if you're listening to this, this game got your name on it. It's got your name in neon, but, like, soft neon. Aesthetic neon.
For sure. Also, I really hope Brian listens to this one.
I hope Brian listens to this one. Brian, are you proud of us? Tell us you're proud of us. We always ask you if you're proud of us on these, and you usually are, but you never know.
For sure. Ugh. I want to check in a little bit on Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. I have some ranting and some praise.
What's up?
So, Crystal Chronicles Remastered has, once again, continues to get, like, bad press. because it's not a truly great video game.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely rough around the edges and somewhat on the inside, to be honest. And, you know, these fucking loading screens. Loading screens between, like, cutscenes and, like, levels are, like, draining now. And I think that's just, like, a difference between, of, like, when it came out and what it is now.
What do you mean they're draining?
Like, so, for example, like, in Ghost of Tsushima, right? There are loading screens. They show up. But they're about, south of 15 seconds?
Right.
Like, sometimes, like, you'll get a loading screen and, like, you can kind of mess around with, like, the left-right things, but they're usually gone before you get through, like, maybe one or two.
Mm-hmm.
Or even, like, in Battle Royales, like, even, like, Fortnite or whatever, you may have a longer loading screen. It takes, or maybe actually not that much longer. Maybe, like, 10 to 20 seconds at most. And when those happen, you get your loading screen, and then you get, like, 20 minutes of continuous gameplay?
Mm-hmm.
In Crystal Chronicles, like, if you're on the overworld, or, like, if you leave a dungeon, you're going back to the overworld, you get, like, a 30-second loading time. Or, like, if you're on the overworld and you're, like, going from cutscene to, like, back to the overworld, it's also, like, about that long. And it just feels like a bad time. And, like, these aren't really, like, egregious loading screens. It's just, like, they feel egregious now, given, like, how games are made now. And given that, like, these games are, like, playable on, like, much better hardware, I don't really understand what the problem is. Like, I don't know why a PS4 doesn't have better load times than I did on the GameCube. And I'd like to know. I think that's like a barrier to play that's been kind of annoying for me lately. Otherwise, I'll like do like one or two dungeons at once. As I've been cycling through the game, like I've unlocked like essentially access to the final dungeon, but I've been grinding some stuff lately. And one of the things that this game does is that when you go to a dungeon and you clear it, since you play the game over like a course of like in-game years, when you're able to essentially reharvest an old dungeon, like it escalates. Like there are more monsters or stronger monsters, and there are better like rewards for doing it. And while I was definitely like blazing through like the earlier sections of the game, I am having trouble soloing some of like the tougher like third cycle like dungeons. And that's been particularly rewarding, especially when I'm playing with groups of people. And the narrative that the game has been like telling non-linearly, like you learn it through like tidbits and like cutscenes and various pieces of dialogue, has been really interesting to me because, you know, Final Fantasy games are usually really straightforward. You have to do A, B, C, and D. You meet a couple bosses. There are some personalities along the way, and then you're done, right?
Yeah, and you got to do them in the right order or else it doesn't trigger the right thing.
Right. But in Crystal Chronicles, like, the only objective that the game directly gives you is to, like, collect myrrh to bring back to your village so that you can protect the village from, like, the miasma. And that's it. The game isn't super concerned with getting rid of miasma or even, like, streamlining, like, the delivery of myrrh, really. Like, this is just, like, what you do. Once a year, you pilgrimage out, you go collect your myrrh and come back, and you can actually do that ad infinitum. That's fine. Occasionally, when you're traversing through the overworld, you are interrupted by cutscenes. And, like, most of them are pretty innocuous, but sometimes you meet some characters that present some interesting questions. For example, there's legends of a character, a Black Knight, who doesn't have any memories but is a formidable fighter. There's also a pair of characters, Gertie and Hurdy. Hurdy appears to be essentially a cleric that like traverses the world and like helps people, while Gertie appears to be a charlatan. They also look exactly the same.
Oh, so you can't tell who's who until you interact with them?
Basically. Well, they have different colored outfits, so you can see the difference. Gertie wears a red outfit, and, like, Hurdy wears a white one, reminiscent of a white mage. But the thing is that, like, they both claim to be brothers, and sometimes one dresses up as the other, apparently. And Hurdy was a companion of the Black Knight at some point when they had a pilgrimage. But the thing is that there's a long-running theory associated with this game that Gertie and Hurdy may actually be the same person. And also, Gertie/Hurdy doesn't have access to their memories. Also, very conspicuously, every time you have one of these cutscenes, you have a memory counter that toggles on your main menu at the top right of your screen. And it's an old game. But basically, the story is that once you go to fight the final boss, there is some creature formed by memories directly that is benefiting from both like adventurers coming to challenge it, but also the existence of the miasma. The miasma creates turmoil and despair in the world, which sort of like improves the quality of memories that it's able to consume. And whenever someone fights it, he literally pulls the memories from them and like eats them to like amass more power. What you actually need to do is like turn your memories into literal magic to fight against it. So like the idea is that like, even though the game doesn't tell you go fight the boss, go do this, etc., like you're kind of like roundabout wandering through the world is what gives you access to the tools that you need to win, which are like a large cache of memories, better gear, and more understanding of how like the battle system works. Mm-hmm. And it works pretty organically. And I really like that quality of the game, that like the idea that memory, your experiences are the tools that you need to overcome your difficulties, that like cooperation is incredibly powerful in the face of complex and like large scale problems, because like you don't actually just get to walk into the final boss. Like there's sort of like a series of events that you have to trigger, and you only get them by like experiencing certain memories and doing certain things in certain stages. And they're pretty simple to do. Like you can do them pretty much straightforward, like once you get to the 5th year and you have access to certain areas of the map. But it's not apparent or clear that you're supposed to be doing that. But the initial gameplay loop isn't actually disrupted by like the lack of that knowledge, because you can still like just visit other places, collect myrrh, and take it back home. And so like the game kind of ends basically only when you want it to. And if you just want to keep like dungeon crawling forever, you totally can. It's not the best dungeon crawler. Like I feel like games that have come out more recently, like Minecraft Dungeons or Diablo 3 and 4 and Immortal forthcoming, are probably better iterations of that particular gameplay loop. But I like the way that like the narrative is like structured, and like the kind of like sort of esoteric like storytelling that it does. Like I wish like memories were like the real thing that like Kingdom Hearts 3 was about, but like, you know, executed with like a sense of maturity and like honesty about what those things mean. Mm-hmm. I really like what Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles tries to be narratively and experientially, but it's just like they just drop the ball like on the entire technical aspect, which, you know, once again, in my opinion, should have been the easier thing to deal with. But I don't know. It is a disappointment, but it's by no extension of the imagination a bad video game. If you have time, you have the patience, you should fuck with it. That's how I feel about Crystal Chronicles.
Okay. Why didn't they...
Go ahead, say it.
Why didn't they do their port right?
Oh my god, I don't know. I feel like it still may have not been a priority. The game is like, what, 10 years removed from its latest iteration? Mm-hmm. And like this port has been in the works from like what it appears to be a very passionate developer that wasn't necessarily affiliated with the initial team. So like it's not like Crystal Chronicles was like a killer app like when it came out. Like it was more of like a passion project than anything else.
Right.
And maybe someone with a chart at Square Enix felt like it wasn't going to really compete with Diablo or Minecraft Dungeons, which could have been a reasonable point to make, and like, you know, diverted funds from it like specifically. Even if like they straight up just try to deliver the old experience to people, that still would have kept like, you know, its cult following happy, but it probably wouldn't have been as widespread, and it still wouldn't have like addressed some of like the more technical aspects like the loading times. But I understand that maybe like loading times over remote play is a little different and has less to do with hardware and more to do with like connections. But even like in a single player experience, if I'm playing by myself on my own particular device, I feel like it still should be faster.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
They missed out on like particular details about like literally playing the game. Maybe their QA budget was slashed. I don't know. But I feel like Crystal Chronicles has a lot of really good ideas that still persist even after like the decade that it was initially like announced. And they did try to innovate on like the gameplay experience, but they definitely missed out on a lot of quality of life stuff that feels like it would have been pretty simple to handle for like a team that had access to resources and people that were really paying attention to the property.
Aww.
Yeah. So, like, you know, when people say that Crystal Chronicles is a disappointment, that isn't incorrect. But that doesn't mean it's a bad video game.
Gotcha. It just could have been better.
Right. Like, it should have been better. Like, oh my God. I wish that more games took things that this game did more seriously. Because, you know, like, especially when you're playing, like, games that are collaborative or games that, like, have, like, a consistent game space where you could play forever, a lot of the time, the game will get to a point where it'll say, okay, now you gotta go finish. It's time to leave.
Yep.
There are a handful of games that just kind of let you do that forever. Like, just hang out in the space and you can end when you want to. Breath of the Wild is a great example, but also, like, GTA 5 was just like a game where, like, even if, like, you could go do the final chapter, you could go flip over a couple more tanks and no one's going to say anything about it. The game is not going to bug you to go finish and, like, act like it's running out of content. Like, it's just more like, once you've done everything you want to do, you can leave. And that makes sense to us. But if you want to hang out, then, you know what? Go nuts. But, yeah, I don't know. They really dropped the ball, but, like, that's still not enough to make this a bad video game.
That's fair.
Yeah. I've tried out a new video game, Spellbreak.
Okay.
Well, relatively new. Had a PS4 beta, I think, back in April, and there have been talks about it for, like, a while. It recently made its way to Switch. For people who've never heard of it, Spellbreak is a free-to-play battle royale video game. Hear me out. Where the major gameplay mechanic is not gunplay, but magic. There are still, like, drops that are kind of a la Fortnite, but the idea is that you're wearing, like, these gauntlets, and they give access to certain spells, and, like, you can hold two elements at once. Like, for example, let's say I have a fire gauntlet and a poison gauntlet, right? I have, like, a straight-up, like, projectile. I can fire little fireballs, or I can, like, spew poison at people. And then, like, I have, like, escalated abilities with both. Like, my fire gauntlet can actually make a fire wall in front of me. That's, like, pretty large.
Okay.
And my poison ability allows me to make, like, a poison cloud that I can just drop somewhere. These spells also have combinations and, like, synergies that work really well. For example, if I throw down my poison cloud and then I, like, shoot fire into it or put the firewall in the same place, the poison cloud will explode in an AoE and will, like, poison people around me.
I like that.
Or, like, I can make, you know, things like fire tornadoes, or I can make, like, ice grenades that explode into electricity, like shit like that. Outside of that, like, the gameplay is still very much battle royale. Also, right. Oh, since you're magic or whatever, you also have a base ability to, like, fly for a little bit. You have limited flight. Like, you can jump off places and then essentially fly to a nearby, like, platform or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You also are able to pick up various runes that allow you to gain specifically movement-based abilities. Like, you can gain a teleport, you can gain a dash, you can gain basically extended flight, invisibility, like, stuff like that, right? So, like, the idea is that your loadout is essentially two different, like, elemental sets of spells, which have 2 spells each. So 2 gauntlets, element, 2 spells each, a rune that gives you some sort of movement ability, and then you can pick up potions for health and shields, and you can pick up, like, armor and, like, boots that increase your movement speed and stuff like that, right? After all that, it's still a battle royale. And that is actually what I want to talk about. I think that Spellbreak has a very unique system for, like, movement and, like, casting and, like, combat and whatever. And I know they made it a battle royale specifically to, like, capitalize on the battle royale trend. And it is a serviceable battle royale. I don't think it's a killer app or anything, but I think it's good and it's novel and it's interesting. But what I'd want to see is this, like, tool set applied to a different genre of games. I would like to play Spellbreak as an RPG, where I'm just a character, like, flying through the world, spell slinging and whatever, because they're like narrative that they've, like, put together about, like, the vow breakers, which are, like, people in, like, a world where essentially magic is illegal, and, like, you have absconded from, like, civilization to join these vow breakers and, like, I don't know, maybe fight for magic user rights. I don't know. Seems like it could be cool. Or even, like, you know, more limited PvP, like, combat. Less so, like, squads and more, like, arena-based, like, battles. 1v1s, like, 2v2s, 3v3s could be cool. And, like, I hope that, like, their ultimate goal is that if they make enough money off this Battle Royale thing,
they'll do something else with it.
Yeah, like maybe they'll make something closer to like Save the Worlds like Fortnite initially had, or if they make a straight up RPG like campaign with your customizable avatar that you can go back to Battle Royale whenever you want, or if they have like arena based combat and stuff, that could be cool. That could be really fucking great. Or even if it like decides to go like a full like open world MMO type of thing, like the way that like Kindred Fates or Temtem are doing. That could also be really interesting. You just scour the world for, like, the best gauntlets and whatnot. But in its current form, it's fine. It's still a Battle Royale, and, like, it doesn't change too much about the Battle Royale formula, but it feels good to move and mess around with these spells, and I hope more of it, like, develops over time.
I mean, that makes sense. I'm also tired of Battle Royales. I'm tired of everything being a Battle Royale.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, like, I get that some stuff works better as one. Like, I don't think I could see a Fall Guys, like, RPG.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think I'd like it more if games like that had, like, Battle Royale as an optional mode. Like, something to do after you finish the main story. I don't know.
Yeah. No, you know what's, oh, fuck. So, like, there was this tweet, I'm gonna reference a tweet, that, like, someone woke up from a dream where they were playing a Battle Royale in like this infinitely tall skyscraper, and so you fight your way up like various levels, but then there were certain like floors that were just like completely different. Like one of them was just a casino, and like one of the floors was just like a chill hangout spot where you could just kick it and not do the Battle Royale thing. I want to play that video game. I want to play like the infinite like skyscraper where there's Battle Royale for like a big part of it. Like that's a major part of the experience, but I could just do other stuff in this like giant building if I got up high enough.
Okay.
I mean...
Oh boy. Yeah.
I want to know more about this. I want to get to like level 50 and then just like, you know, spend 3 weeks just in the casino. And maybe I'll go back to Battle Royale when I feel like it, but if I don't want to, I just want to sit in this casino.
Yeah. Maybe I do want to just sit in this casino and blow the money that I win in the Battle Royale on the casino.
Yeah.
That might be the way to do it. Hey. We cracked the code.
I'm just saying, like, someone get on this. Maybe Hyperspace Outlaw, when they get their head out of their ass about being, like, the new edgy, futuristic, like, fucking Battle Royale, they'll, like, make this.
Maybe Cyberpunk 2077 will end up with a DLC Battle Royale mode, and, like, the money you earn in the Battle Royale can be spent in the game.
That could be cool. Or, like...
That could be cool. That would make sense, too.
Or, like, if... you get to a point in the Battle Royale where you're, like, scaling the buildings, and, like, it's not a Battle Royale anymore. Like, imagine, like, all of a sudden, instead of being, like, on, like, everyone versus everybody, the game just rescans you, and now everyone's on a single team, and now there's a raid boss. And you just gotta deal with that.
Ooh, okay, yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. I'd be down for that. Although people seem to not like team-based activities in, like, Battle Royale-style games, so...
That's true. Definitely fucking Fall Guys is a great example. Like, like a lot of people, like, hate that. But
I think at that point, the thing is, like, the non-Battle Royale portion of it isn't, like, your team gets eliminated. It's literally either you all work together and get this done, or you all get eliminated.
Right.
An all or nothing sort of thing.
Instead of, like, falling back to, like, the first floor or whatever, like, you just, like... go back to like the latest chill out spot. Maybe you just respawn in the casino. Who knows?
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, Tegan, we're having a bit too much fun. Can you talk about politics for a second? We got to get back on track.
I can talk about politics for a second, but don't worry, I do have a palate cleanser prepared.
For sure, let's go.
Okay, so in the latest in late breaking politics, the Democrats are campaigning in Animal Crossing. Like the Charmin fucking thing wasn't enough.
Okay, is that gonna work?
Who knows? But like with how everybody has been traveling to people's islands for turnips and stuff, like it could theoretically in this time of, you know, not trying not to leave your house unless you absolutely have to. Like, it's the new yard sign, basically.
So, like, wait a second. Hold on. I have a question, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're campaigning in, like, Animal Crossing, and I've seen a little bit of it. Like, you know, like, they have the QR codes for, like, their lawn signs or whatever.
Yeah, lawn signs, and I think you can use them on shirts, too.
Right. But, like, you know, when you're canvassing, right, like, in a campaign, you're usually, like, knocking on people's doors, like, hey, like, have you heard the good news, or whatever the fuck that they say?
Yeah, right.
Can they do that? Like, can they just drop into people's towns?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But if you are traveling to someone's town and they have a Biden-Harris sign up, I don't think you can stop them.
Yeah, that's true.
And, like, with dream codes and stuff now, too, like, you can go to people's towns without actually going to their towns, without them being online or whatever. As long as they have a dream code uploaded, you can visit them.
For sure. So maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're just, like, cold dream, like, coding into people's islands and just hoping that people are there.
Who knows?
Oh, God, that sounds ridiculous.
I mean, it's available for you to download, so you can download the code, put it up, you know, send it, and if it's in your Able Sister shop, your villagers could get those shirts, and then you send those villagers off into the world, and maybe they move to someone's town.
Wearing the Biden-Harris shirt?
Wearing the Biden-Harris shirt, you know, someone else's town who came to your town to sell turnips that one time 3 weeks ago or whatever, you know? Who knows? Yeah, it's weird. This is the weirdest fucking timeline. I'm done. I'm ready for it to be back to the normal timeline now. Did I tell you that I took the whole week of elections off?
It's a week now? I thought you had 3 days or something.
So that Tuesday, I took off, and then I also have Wednesday and Thursday off, but I only work Sunday through Thursday, so I took 3 days off, and then I am also off 2 additional days.
For sure. Yeah, that's the whole week.
Because I was like, fuck this. With all the mail-in voting, do you think we'll know by Friday who the next president is? Who knows? We'll find out.
Oh my God. We probably won't know for, like, at least a week after.
Every vote better be fucking counted.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care if it arrives late. If it's in by, like, Thursday, it should be counted. Fuck this. God damn it. It's too important. Okay, anyway, ready for the palate cleanser? Here's your palate cleanser. Someone got doomed to run on a pregnancy test.
What?
Fucking stupid. Yeah! Yep, you can play Doom on a pregnancy test.
But, like, pregnancy tests, do they even have, like, screens?
Some of them do, yeah. The new digital pregnancy tests completely have screens, and Twitter user Foone, Foone, got one and made it so that they could play Doom with a wireless keyboard on the pregnancy test.
No, I'm looking at this now. God damn it.
Yep. Yeah. The weirdest timeline. The weirdest fucking timeline. We are in the weirdest fucking timeline.
This is fucking absurd.
It is! It really is! It really is! But it's definitely running. Like, it's responding to keyboard commands and everything.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, this is fucking absurd, actually.
So, like, at that point, we've seen Doom in Minecraft, via Redstone, on a microwave, Leapfrog Kids toys, like the whole thing. And like, here it is on a pregnancy test. I don't know who's gonna beat this. I don't know how you get better than Doom on a pregnancy test. And honestly, like, in this weird ass year, playing Doom on your pregnancy test is like better than finding out you have a positive pregnancy test, I think. It's probably even better than finding out you have a negative pregnancy test, depending on what your situation is.
It's just like, hey, what was the result of the test? Don't care, playing Doom.
Yeah, sorry, doesn't matter. Playing Doom.
Oh my God. Oh, what a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. It is weird. Time's a flat circle. People are playing Doom on pregnancy tests.
Oh my God.
Who knows?
Okay, hold on. I just want to get this out real quick.
Yeah.
So Shenmue, the cult classic, originally Dreamcast, now on modern consoles video game, is getting an anime. And it looks like it's going to be handled by a pretty strong team. The credits include Tower of God and Lupin the Third. Okay, Lupin the Third, I believe. Yeah. I haven't seen Tower of God yet. I've heard good things, but I haven't seen it yet. I think it's been executed well. I'm not sure if it's a great series.
Fair.
Like, animation's strong. The writing is, like, necessarily confusing.
Right.
I think they did that because they're not sure if telling it straightforward is a better story. But also, they're in line with the webtoon.
The webtoon?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
It looks fine, and I don't know if it'll feel fine overall. They do have some compelling arcs, and hopefully they'll improve in season 2.
I mean, it's also, like, the first foray into webtoon anime, so...
True. But also, I'm not sure if I like Shenmue as a 13-episode series. Because I think the things that made Shenmue great isn't because it's a straightforward story about going to avenge your father's death. The best memories I have of Shenmue are mostly dicking around. There are definitely things that were on task that were cool, like learning the combat system and discovering new moves, like finding scrolls in places. But I also just really liked fucking around with these like random like toy machines, you know, being a forklift driver and like hanging out with this cat. And I'm not sure, given like the scope of the series, which is 13 episodes, and like the information that we have about it, which is about like his quest for like revenge, are going to really capture what people really like about Shenmue.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be cool if they did. If they decided, yeah, we're going to really work this slice of life stuff into like this journey or whatever. But I'm not sure if that's the train that they're going to sell us. And I'm a little worried about it.
Slice of life battle shonen anime.
That sounds like a sweet spot. I mean, it also sounds impossible. I can accept that.
I mean, I think it's doable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think 13 episodes is a good first season to, like, see if it's feasible. I bet the views on those first, like, 4 episodes are going to be key into deciding whether or not it gets a season 2.
Right.
If it does get a season 2, I think they could do it. Lupin's pretty good about, like, that balance between, like, mystery and action sort of thing, but also, like, goof.
Yeah. So
I'd have faith, but I'm concerned that it'll be cut off at the knees. You know?
Yeah. Damn. Maybe I just start organizing watch parties for Shenmue. I could do that. That can't be that hard.
It can't be that hard, and especially when you're in this age of streaming and stuff. And if Crunchyroll's getting it as an exclusive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are people who like just sit around and watch the Crunchyroll exclusive, so you know. For sure.
I might try campaigning for it. Like, I hope it's good, because it's like one of those things where, like, this is like the opposite of my experience with Kisniver. Because, like, Kisniver, I had no idea what was going to happen. Zero clue.
Right.
And I just kind of sat down because my friends, we did Anime Sunday, so we'd sit down and catch up on the week stuff. I ended up looking forward to Kisniver because I had, like, zero expectations, and they were always blown away.
Kisniver good. Kisniver's a good show.
Yeah.
Not enough people watched it. Kisniver's a good show. If you missed it, watch it. Fuck.
Like, it's still around. Please watch Kisniver. It's excellent.
It's about empathy. We need shows like that right now. Because no one fucking cares about people.
I say we make Brian watch Kisniver. Whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yes. We do make Brian watch Kisniver.
If you guys want us to make Brian watch Kisniver, vote now on your phones.
Vote now on your phones.
But, like, with Shenmue, it's the opposite. Like, I want it to be, like, this kind of, like, nonsensical, wacky bullshit that kind of doesn't really go anywhere for a while. And people who are getting into Shenmue are still not going to get it. And I'm deeply worried about that. If they show up and they want to battle shonen anime and they get all this wacky shit, I'm going to have a great time. But they are not. It's true that Lupin actually does have a solid balance of that kind of stuff. Like, it's one of those things where you can kind of just sit down and watch at any given point, and it's like, oh, cool, some stuff happened. Oh, that's some cool, wacky bullshit. I don't know how to cut that line, and I'm sure they do. They're the professionals, and I just hope it gets done.
They're professionals, and they've done it.
It's true.
That's the key, is they have done it before. We just need to see if they can do it with this.
As Monique would say, I would like to see it.
I don't know who Monique is.
You've seen that GIF, though, where she's like, I would like to see it.
Have I? I don't know if I've seen that.
I'll find it later, but Tegan, I think you have one more thing.
Yeah, I do have one more thing. It is one more anime thing. Brian's not here. We can talk about anime.
Of course.
So, Digimon.
Mm-hmm.
Digimon, my pride and joy, my babies. We're 14 episodes in. I still don't know where TK is. It's frustrating. Everything in Tokyo is going to shit. Predictably and beautifully. And, like, in the most glorious ways. But anyway, so this past week's episode was focused on Izzy. Mm-hmm. which is our resident tech expert. And, like, if there was any character with a passion for video games, it would be Izzy.
Mm.
So before, his episode was about utilizing technology to help make your life, the battle, whatever, easier. Make it better, right?
Okay.
And that was in 1999. This go around, 2020, they're saying, okay, put your tablets down and use the organ between your eyes called your brain and your critical thinking skills to assess the world around you and make some decisions. Like, it's about over-reliance on technology, where before it was about trying to get people to adopt technology.
Ah.
It's really interesting how they've, like, taken this tech whiz kid and made him both the ambassador for technology and the warning to get kids away from it, like, at the same time. It's very cool. Also, like, they had him fighting giant bugs. Also, everyone's getting ultimate levels already, so, like, whatever. Perfect. Ultimate, whatever. It's, they're going so fast. I'm very confused, but yeah. It was a good episode about, like, using your brain as opposed to just trying to look stuff up online all the time and figure things out.
Yeah, shout out to prosthetic knowledge.
Yeah, it's very cool. And then also, we got the new ending theme. They changed the ending themes without changing opening themes. Ooh.
Those are tricky. I've seen those, yeah.
It's very tricky. And the new ending theme is by Real, who started as a Vocaloid artist.
Okay.
She made songs for Miku specifically, and then decided, well, like, people like my songs, so I'm just gonna sing them myself. And then made a band, and now she's been signed to a label, and, like, it all started with Vocaloid, and I think that's fucking cool. And every song she makes is a fucking bop, so you should check it out also. Also, the ending is weird now, so whatever. Like, it's weird in a different... The first episode was definitely, like, Matt, like, Yamato Ishida, the music video, this angsty 11-year-old. It was good. Mm-hmm. It was quality. And this one is like, I don't know what's happening and I'm concerned. But the song is still a bop. It's called Q.
Like the letter?
Yeah, like the letter Q with a question mark after it. Like, it's a question.
Oh, no.
Like, that's the whole thing. Yeah, the song is very, very good. Even if it wasn't, like, on Digimon, I would still recommend it. Still a good recommend. But, yeah. Good. It was interesting and it was good. And then next is Joe's episode, and then, I don't know, maybe I'll see TK. Maybe we'll get TK by episode 20.
Wait, what's Anjumon's ultimate again?
Anjumon's ultimate is Holy Anjumon.
Ah.
In Japanese, he's Holy Anjumon. In English, they changed him to Magna Anjumon because he couldn't be holy.
Oof.
Fucking stupid.
What if, like, we get the TK episode and it's just Anjumon and, like, Holy Anjumon in the same episode?
Holy shit! It better be big. Whatever it is. Right now, like, in Tokyo, they're like, oh yeah, there's no power. It's very much, remember in, that movie we watched.
Ghostbusters?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. The not Ghibli movie.
Oh, Summer Wars.
Summer Wars! In Summer Wars, when, like, the power went out or whatever in, like, Tokyo and all the systems got fucked up because the thing fighting in the system.
Right.
And, like, yeah, that is what's going on.
Okay.
There's fires breaking out in buildings and the fire departments can't get to them and nobody can report them because the cell towers are all down. There's people stuck in elevators all over the place. There's all these major accidents going on and I'm just like, where's my boy?
Wait a second. That's
Where is he? It's Summer Wars. Summer Wars is happening in my Digimon.
Actually, I keep forgetting which came first.
Digimon came first.
Oh yeah, 99. Fuck me.
Yeah.
But, like, the first Digimon movie was, like, later, like, adapted into, like, what became Summer Wars. But, like, if they're just doing, like, is it Boku no War Game? Am I getting that right?
Yeah, our war game was episode 2 and 3 of Digimon.
Ah, okay.
Like, they started our war game at, like, episode 1 a little bit as, like, the intro, but our war game really happened in, like, episode 2 and 3. The whole, like, missile coming towards Japan, launched by the Americans, like, the whole thing. Except instead of just crashing into the ocean and, like, not going off, like it does in our war game, somehow fucking Omegamon reprogrammed it and sent it into the atmosphere.
Okay, I'm not sure that's how missiles work, but for sure.
That's not how missiles work, but it worked.
So, like, Our War Game is done, and now it's just, like, the aftermath of Our War Game as the series continues. That's kind of wild.
Yeah.
For sure.
It is. It's really weird, but, like, also very good.
For sure.
Like, Summer Wars happened, and then 2 days later, the internet got fucky again for different reasons, quote unquote.
Sick.
And the reason is, like, whatever the main, like, power station in Tokyo or whatever controls the main grid is being attacked now. And instead of just fighting it on the internet level, which is where they did all the Our War Game stuff, they've gone deeper, and now they're in the digital world. That's how that happened. They're in the deep web. What the fuck?
Oh, God.
They're, like, underneath the internet. They're in the internet, but underneath it. It's so weird.
Okay, Tegan.
The digital world's in a weird spot now.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think this new Digimon series has real mainstream appeal?
I think genuinely a lot of people would like it if they watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people who are not familiar with the original adventure series will get as much out of it as other people.
Okay. That's fair. But do you think it's more in line with, like, say, like, the Evangelion, like, remakes, like 3.0, etc.? Or if it's, like... Let me think of another example.
I mean, it's definitely new Digimon for a new generation, but it's using the old kids.
Right.
Even if you're new, the characters are already very fleshed out, even without having, like, a ton of screen time. The way they're interacting on screen already shows that there's been a lot of thought put into their characters and how they're interacting.
Mm-hmm.
Say you're watching an animatic for someone's OCs, and you don't know anything about these OCs, but you can tell based on your interactions that there's a lot of thought that's been put into each character, and now you want to know more about each character.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
Okay, I guess the other example I was thinking of, as opposed to a remaster, like, say, or I guess, yeah, like a remaster, like what happens in Evangelion, is it closer to something like, kind of like a remake or like a truncation? Not truncation, but like...
I mean, it is a reboot. That's what they're calling it.
Right, so it's like, I guess, is it more akin to, say, like Digimon Adventure Brotherhood?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is Digimon Adventure Brotherhood.
Okay, no, that totally makes sense. That's what I was trying to dig for. I just couldn't...
So far, it's not like... It's less, like, dark, if that makes sense. But the problems that the kids are facing are valid in a way that I don't think they felt in the 99 series.
Right.
So there was an episode that was, like, Mimi-centric, and it was straight up Castle in the Sky.
Okay. That's...
Like the Ghibli movie, it was straight up Castle in the Sky.
I think a lot of people would like that.
It was very cool. And, like, a lot of the ways that they've updated the girls specifically has made them a lot more interesting and a lot more, like, dimensional as characters.
Oh my god.
It's not just, this is the sporty girl and this is the princess. It's like, they have emotions and feelings and, like, the way that they are still a dichotomy to each other while also both being, like, very much girls and very much modern girls is very cool.
Okay. I just remembered there was this TikTok that fucked me up, Tegan, where, like,
there
was, like, a shoujo protagonist meeting, like, a shonen, like, female character. They're checking up on her, like, hey, how you doing? It's like, oh, I've been really great. Like, I got some character development. And, like, the shonen girl's like, oh, okay, cool. What'd they give you? Like, an episode, 2 episodes, a montage?
A montage?
Yeah, and she's like, no, I got an arc. I got, like, the whole season. Like, I got, like, they spent the whole season, developing my particular character. It was great. And the shonen girl's like,
you got what?
Yeah, she's just like, how did you do that?
Please tell me the secret.
She was so hurt, and I'm like, oh no!
My development happened off screen. I got an outfit change. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh my god, it was, I hurt. Like, that was painful. I was like, please.
It's accurate, though. It's 100% accurate. That's what they do.
That is what they do. That is exactly what they do. They need to do better. I need everyone to do better. Like, please.
Also, I'm gonna double check which specific season of Pretty Cure it is, but if you like fucking Super Saiyans, there's one specific series of Pretty Cure where it's just, I'm pretty sure it's Princess Pretty Cure, where it's just Super Saiyans, but Pretty Cure.
I would, yeah, I think that's something that we could possibly, like, put together a press kit for. That sounds like fun.
We gotta do anime. I wanna hear Brian's update on Haikyuu.
True.
I wanna rewatch Haikyuu. I also wanna rewatch Haikyuu.
Oh, man.
New season's coming.
It's so close. It's a month away. We're almost there.
It's a month away. We're almost there. Oh, man, wait, is My Hero coming back too? Oh, no, wait, My Hero's not gonna come back till January, is it?
Yeah, I think that's right.
No, usually it's October. Isn't it a fall anime?
It is a fall anime, but, like, I haven't seen an announcement for it yet.
I haven't either. I know they already greenlit the series, like the season, and I know they're doing the movie for Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Also, if you like traditional Japanese art, check out Demon Slayer, cause, like, oh, it's good. It's good.
I, like, rewatched episode, like, 19, the one where, like, Nezuko, like, wakes up.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah.
Good.
It was perfect. It's so good.
It's such a good show.
Okay, wait, I have one more video game thing before we get into news.
Okay.
So, I've been playing more Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
And I'm pretty kitted, and I feel like I'm getting a little lazy to that point. Like, sometimes I lose, like, dumb fights on the first try because, like, I'm, like, not waiting for the dude to, like, pull his sword out on me. Also, the Straw Hats are out in force. And that's kind of spooky, cause like
yeah, they're big spooks.
Yeah, like I've been fighting like standard Mongols, and it's pretty solid. Like it's just switch to the correct like stance or whatever, and like parry their one hit and dash past them. Or even if you have like the spear like stance leveled up, you don't have to parry those dudes. You can just keep mashing triangle, and they'll just die. And, like, you get your, like, 1 or 2 or 3 first kills at the beginning. It's easy peasy. But, like, if there's some Straw Hats mixed in there, I've never gotten to a group of, like, Straw Hats or whatever where the Straw Hat will challenge me first.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's, like, pure Straw Hats. That's, like, the rare example. But usually they're mixed in with Mongols. They have solid 3-4 hit combos at minimum. It feels like, just like a sprinkle of Sekiro in there. I have to, like, wake up for a second. Like, I kind of autopilot my way through combat more often than not now. But then, like, a Straw Hat will show up. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, give me a second. Jesus
You're like,
Christ.
oh, wait a minute. Hang on. I gotta re-engage my brain.
Yeah. Also, I've been letting my horse, Nobu, get cut a bit more often than I'm proud of. I hope he forgives me. I just recently did...
I'm glad you also named your horse Nobu.
Right? I think it's better than Sora. I'm still angry about Kingdom Hearts. It's not important. We're not going to talk about that.
You have to confront your feelings eventually. They're making you buy a rhythm game.
But I like rhythm games. That's not important. We're not talking about this. Ghost of Tsushima. Or Ghost of Tsushima? Tsushima, I think.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay, Tsushima. I just recently did most of Norio's arc, the Warrior Monk.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a lot of good stuff out of it, conflicts about, like, Buddhist nonviolence, talking about, like, using, like, your weapon as a thing to protect, acknowledging that it also does harm and even kill. I did, like, the goofy conundrum that, like, Norio was in because he wanted to, like, protect the legacy of, like, the temple while, like, Mongols were going to attack, but also the population of the temple, the monks, were just washing themselves defenseless at the river, and they'd probably die if no one did anything.
Yeah.
And so, like, Norio's just like, but I gotta protect the temple. It's like, but the monks, they're gonna die. You kind of have, like, a small, like, disagreement over it, and then, like, Jin resolves, I'm gonna go to the river, you stay here. You go down the river, and you definitely have everything under control. You are not in danger there.
Right, yeah.
Every, like, Mongol that shows up.
Oh, yeah.
But then Norio definitely shows up afterwards, and he's just like, Norio, you came. Yeah, I just remembered. Life is more important than things.
Fucking duh, man. Fucking duh. Life is more important than things. People die when you are killed. Like, what?
It was funny to me. I had a good time. Then we went back to the temple, and we fought a bunch of dudes. Norio fell, because the story said Norio had to fall, and that's fine. I, like, picked him up with, like, literally 2 seconds on the clock, but it's whatever. He forgave me. We killed all the Mongols, protected the temple, dapped it up, and now I'm going, I don't know, I'm going to go help either Yuna or, like, the the widow who's like hunting down the bandits that killed her family. I don't know which one I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna do one of them, but I do like the kind of sequestered nature of like quest lines. Because, you know, when you play games that are essentially open world, that have, like, these little arcs that they take you on, they don't really feel satisfying, like, as a particular unit. I spent, like, maybe an hour and a half with Norio, and I felt, like, great. And I felt like it was a logical stopping point for, like, my gameplay at the time. I'm less ravenous than I was initially, where, like, I started out and I played for, like, 8 hours straight and went through, like, 17 different stories and knocked over 3,200 like Mongol encampments or whatever. Like, it's just like, I'll do a couple of encampments. If I run into some gangs on the road, there seem to be a reasonable amount. Like, they don't feel like they're getting stale, but I'm also not being overwhelmed by them. And when I get to like a story beat that I want, I can hang out there for about an hour and then I'm kind of done. Like, I'm cool with the experience that I had in that time. It's still maybe like an hour or 2.5 hours or whatever. But I feel like that kind of like unit chunk of gameplay is like paced at a certain level of quality that I don't feel like unsatisfied when I finish a quest line and have to go dig for another one.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And like, I like that a lot more because, you know, arguably it's not in the game's interest to make you feel that way at the end of a quest line. There should be like some satisfying end, sure, so that you can tell this is over. But like, games don't usually want you to just stop playing when that happens. I don't feel like Tsushima is presenting some sort of failure by saying, now go do this next thing. It feels like they are pacing themselves in a way that feels satisfying and reasonable to stop playing once I get to like the edge of a particular arc in a particular area.
Yeah, they do a very good job of, like, giving you a full arc for the whole mission.
Right.
And then, like, this is a place where you can stop for the night.
Mm.
It feels like it respects that, like, these missions take several hours to do, and you may not have several hours, like, consistently sort of thing.
Right, yes.
So, like, here is a good spot for you to stop for the evening if you have to stop. If you don't, you can keep going. It's not hard. But, like, otherwise you can just wander around and, you know, find shrines and stuff until you have to go to bed.
Yeah.
It's very chill.
It's super chill.
It's very nice of them.
So, yeah, I'm warming up to, like, Tsushima. I mean, I've never disliked Tsushima, but, like, I definitely am developing a deeper appreciation for the game in its current form.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, fuck that noise. Let's do the news.
Yeah, let's do the news.
Okay, so everyone, listen up.
Listening. Ears open.
Rocket League is coming to free-to-play. It's gonna be everywhere. If you have a place where you play video games, you can probably play Rocket League. And since it's going free-to-play, it's gonna be actually free-to-play. I mean, they still do microtransactions because, you know, you gotta put a hat on your car, whatever. But Rocket League has enough clout, apparently, that it's not gonna require PS Plus to play on PS4, nor is it gonna require Nintendo Switch Online to play on Nintendo Switch.
Oh, okay.
They still don't have a release date yet, but Psyonix has announced that once they flip the Switch, that it's completely free to play. You're not going to need those paid memberships anymore, which brings me to a different discussion that we will also touch on later on, but of video games themselves becoming larger than the platforms that they exist with. That, like, video games are essentially able to become phenomena that are greater than the tools that were used to control them. Fortnite is an excellent example. So is also Rocket League. Even to a lesser extent, things like Final Fantasy XIV, where they don't exactly play by the rules that Steam or Sony or anyone else seems to put on them. They run their own servers, and they basically directly deliver on other people's consoles. And the idea that, like, content is, like, becoming more powerful than forces that facilitate them leads to some interesting questions. One of which being like Epic's current fight with Apple. And I'm interested in seeing what happens next when games like Rocket League continue to run unchecked in the face of other like platform holders.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Rocket League is one of those things that like I feel like slides under a lot of people's like not quite their radar, because I feel like a lot of people know what Rocket League is, but no one's like watching it, you know?
Yeah, fun fact. One of the last times I went to a bar, before all this happened, we go to this kind of like divey biker bar near our place. Mm-hmm. They're called Bourbon and Brews. They're pretty great.
Oh, okay.
I love them. On one of the TVs, they just had like an esports cast of Rocket League on.
Huh.
Yeah, it was just on like at 10 p.m. like on the Thursday that we were out. And like I watched a bit of it. I think it was like G2 versus TSM, if I remember correctly. Because, those two groups, they have teams, like, in basically every game.
They have teams in everything.
Yeah. Oh, man. And so I was just kind of watching a bit of Rocket League. And, like, it was muted, but they had captions on. And, like, they seemed to be playing, like, an actual scene. Some of the terms that they used were straight-up soccer terms, which was helpful for me.
I mean, Rocket League is just soccer with cars.
Yeah, actually.
That's what it is. That's canonically what's up. Soccer, cars.
And I think that's like part of why it was able to like air on TV. I can't remember what channel it was actually on. I want to say it was on ESPN2, but I can't say for sure. But yeah, like Rocket League is kind of like everywhere. And I mean, there's obviously people who continuously play it that I assume are extremely passionate, but I don't really talk to these people. I just know that they're like kind of moving. And that's cool.
Right, and you know that it's there. But the fact that they have a very dedicated fan base that allow them to make moves like this, that like people who watch like the video game space are going to be like, hey, wait a minute. But most people are not going to pick up on why that's like an important thing, which is interesting.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I want to hang a lantern on it. Because like, before, like, if a game came out on a Nintendo console, let's say Moonlighter, right? Like specifically. Mm-hmm. If Moonlighter decided to do like online stuff for whatever reason, they have to go through Nintendo. And they'd also have to make a separate deal with Sony. And they'd have to like make a separate deal with, I don't know, Steam or whatever. They basically have to flip a switch somewhere, online functionality. And usually that cost is passed along to players. Like, it's just like, hey, like, you got to pay extra to do the online stuff. And, like, usually the question is, like, do I love Moonlighter this much? And sometimes it's yes, and sometimes it's no. But, like, in this particular case, the love for Rocket League exists in such power that, like, they talk to Sony. It's like, hey, we want to do online on this thing. It's like, cool, here's the standard online contract. Like, they got to have PS Plus, and that's the thing. They say, like, no deal. We don't want to use your PS Plus. What? And it's like, yeah, like, we just want to have it on PlayStation, but we don't want to go through your thing. And it's like, well, okay, like, well, then you have to confirm that your servers will be at this quality and such, and that's usually pretty expensive for most indie developers. But Rocket League is in a place where they can just say, okay, cool. And they're just doing it. And this is a little different from someone like Epic, where like Epic's kind of been around before Fortnite. Like, they've made Unreal Engine and they've had money for that since then. Even though Fortnite itself is likely eclipsing the amount of money that they're making from Unreal Engine at this point, Psyonix doesn't have that kind of background. Like, as far as we know, basically what they do is Rocket League. And maybe they sell drugs or something. I don't know. I sincerely doubt it. I like to believe.
They insert the crack into the Rocket League, and while you're holding the controller or your mouse and keyboard or whatever, the crack is injected directly into your bloodstream through your hands.
Oh my god, maybe. Who knows?
That's what goes on. You feel that little when you that little pinprick when you first start up a game, and that's it.
It's digitally delivered crack cocaine. Let's go.
Yep, they have the technology. No, they don't. The technology does not exist yet.
Thank God. Someone's working on it. I can already feel it.
It's gonna come with the VR headsets, I'm telling you. I'm 100% telling you. We're gonna get those full dive VR tech, and that's when the crack cocaine is gonna come in. And the first people who are gonna deliver it are Blizzard through World of Warcraft. I bet you $100 it's gonna be Blizzard.
Oh my God. You know what? I'll take that bet, but with the caveat that it's probably Tencent's fault. And I say this because Tencent does have a minority stake in Blizzard, and maybe they still might use Blizzard to do it, but I will make my wager match you at $100, so that if it's Tencent's fault but it comes through Blizzard, we break even.
Okay, that's fair. Then we each give each other $100, and so no money is actually exchanged.
Right.
If it is someone else, if someone else, like, rises through the ranks, though, we both reserve the right to reassess this bet.
That's fair. I can accept that. That's a term that I'm okay with. But yeah, like, this Rocket League thing, like, it looks innocuous. It's actually a single line item on the Psyonix announcement. Like, they're talking about new ranking systems and, like, new cosmetics and, like, new abilities that your car is going to have, but also you're not going to need PS Plus or Nintendo Switch Online. That's it. They don't hang a lantern on it. They just kind of cruise through it, but this is kind of a big deal.
It's a very big deal.
Yeah.
Despite, because there's stuff coming up later in our story lineup, but, like, it's a big deal.
True.
Oof.
Teagues, you got the next story.
I do got the next story. It is Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
People said, we want ports of Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario 64. And Nintendo said, okay. And now people are complaining about it.
Well, I'm not sure it's as simple as that, but go ahead.
Oh, it is. It's that simple. It's that easy. That's the whole story. No, I'm kidding. So Nintendo did a surprise Super Mario Direct for the 35th anniversary of Super Mario existing as a thing. Mm-hmm. And they announced Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which is a collection that's coming to Switch, which is going to include Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. Mm-hmm. That'll be out September 18th.
It's like next week.
Yeah, like literally 9 days from release day. Haha! They are also releasing Super Mario Bros. 35, which is going to be a limited time Battle Royale-inspired version of Super Mario Bros. This sounds like a cluster.
It looks terrifying.
I'm horrified. So 35 players are going to be running through classic Mario stages, trying to be the last one there. If you defeat an enemy, it'll drop into an opposing player's screen, and you can use your right directional stick to choose which player is going to be hit.
Right.
And that will only be playable until March 31st, 2021.
Right.
But that's not the only Mario news we got. Splatoon 2 is gonna have a Mario-themed Splatfest in January 2021.
Right.
Wow! Super Mushrooms versus Invincibility Stars, which power-up do you prefer? There are also going to be Mario items coming in Animal Crossing New Horizons next year. So, like...
Wait, it's next year? It's not, like, coming out...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Well, I'm assuming next year, I guess, because they haven't announced a specific date. They just said, coming.
Right, yeah.
So I'm assuming it's going to be around this, like, March time next year, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, do that thing that Breath of the Wild did and try to bump up sales for March.
Oh, no, I know.
Oh, you know?
There's a thing I did want to mention about the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection.
Mm-hmm.
It will only be available for purchase until March 2021.
Ah, as a collection.
Right.
As a physical collection. Right?
No. I don't know.
Just in general?
Yeah, the listing on like eShop is also saying that it'll like not be there after March 2021.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Right.
Well.
And it's like,
fucking why?
It's because Nintendo said, hey guys, remember that we made Super Mario? Like, you need to run us our check. That needs to be here now.
It's pay up time.
Yeah. And like, I'm worried about it. There is a specific line of reasoning that makes sense that I'm also like, you possibly convince myself of that I'd like to share with you right now.
Okay.
So the console wars are over, right?
Right.
Because we are no longer dealing with the console wars. We're dealing with the platform wars. And one of the things that we've talked about on the show a little bit is that Nintendo isn't exactly positioned well to be super effective in the platform wars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Microsoft's not worried about them. Google's not worried about them. And like now that we have players like Amazon and like Apple putting together their pitches and trying to make something of like their relationship with video games, it's possible that like Nintendo and to a lesser extent Sony may end up being left behind.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that knowledge, if Nintendo is poorly positioned to do well in this new game of platform warring, what they should be doing is trying to accentuate their strengths. And one of their strengths, which is undeniable by anyone who's familiar with the company or any of its products, is its well-managed IP, right?
Mm-hmm.
The most successful of them is probably Mario. Zelda's probably a close second, if I think about it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But Mario, they've tried to put into a couple of things. Like, they're still doing the mobile thing. Super Mario Run didn't work out, but Mario Kart Tour seems to be getting some support. And Dr. Mario is still taking someone's money somewhere. But with their original titles, those are the things that like have like memories associated with them that people are deeply connected to. And it looks like what they're starting to do is like the beginnings of putting together something like a Disney Vault, where like they will do a release of some stuff for a limited time, and then they'll stop producing them, and then they'll just kind of keep them locked away until like another decade goes by. Right.
Oh no, I don't like that.
I don't like it either. But that makes sense given Nintendo's position and their current strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since like not everything's a part of this. Like a notable absence from this is Super Mario Galaxy 2. And if Nintendo, and like whether it be through like Nintendo Switch Online or just like the Switch itself or however they decide to deliver it. And it's important that they decided to not just limit this to physical releases, because that would be just like another collector's edition. If it's connected to online sales as well, like what they're trying to do is control availability of their product overall. And that may be one of the stronger financial moves that they're able to make given the tools that they have available. But it's, you know, as Brian would probably say, it's anti-consumer and generally shitty. I'm worried about it, specifically because they say that these things are going to be available through March 2021. And some of those make sense. Like, for example, maybe Super Mario Bros. 35 is like a difficult thing that might become stale over time.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the levels don't change, or like if the gameplay isn't especially balanced with like how many like more creatures you're able to throw, or like spawning them in an equitable way isn't really feasible. That makes sense. But like there's no good reason that Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection should just poof out of existence at March 2021. And maybe it's a gambit to like boost sales, and maybe when they get to March and they like the numbers there, maybe they just decide, you know, it's available forever, or maybe they just straight up put up in the vault, and then like that summer we get an announcement about a Legend of Zelda collection that includes like Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword.
Oh, disgusting. Oh no, that's my wallet. They're literally coming for it. Oh shit.
And it's only available from September through December of 2021, and then it's in the vault. What if they do the same thing with Metroid? What if they do the same thing with Earthbound?
What if they do it with Bayonetta?
Yeah, right? Fucking
shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So like that's what I mean. This may set a dangerous precedent for like Nintendo's like IP and their availability in the world. And like I'm not going to say that Nintendo has always been super upfront about making their games available. They've done things with like price control to make sure that their games stay valuable.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe this is just an escalation on that front given their new like potential reality.
Gotcha. Do you think the reason that fucking Nintendo and Sony are being left behind in these platform wars specifically are because Japan is slow to adopt change?
I could believe that.
Japan still uses fax machines, like, regularly. That is a regular occurrence for them. Fax machines.
I'd believe that, because it's definitely, like, American companies that are coming for the lunch specifically. But also, I feel like it's a reflection of reality of, like, gaming in Japan versus, like, America.
Mm-hmm.
Even just, like, infrastructure in Japan is, like, just flat out better when it comes to things like internet and, like, ping and whatnot. And even, like, in-person gaming has been, like, prioritized over the years with the reinvention of, like, arcades in Japan. The way that innovations like Street Pass were a much bigger deal in Japan than they were in America.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
that's more because, like, Japan's a walking country.
Right.
Like, I think Street Pass also did well in other areas that are, like, more walkable.
That's true. I did get a lot of street passes, like, when I did live in New York.
Yeah, and in con events, like, there were street passes all over the place.
Part of that, just it may be, like, a difference in culture, and, like, that relates to, like, how their systems are set up and the way that people interact with each other via video games.
Mm-hmm.
But I do also feel like it's a difference of, like, preparation. Like, for example, the people that are set to compete in the platform wars, or rather the new players, like Amazon, Google, and Apple, and someone who's also been really prepared for this, being Microsoft, also have really strong server presences that are prepared for, like, online gaming. As far as I know, Nintendo doesn't have that kind of preparation, neither does Sony. But, to be fair, in Japan, internet infrastructure is a much higher priority, and it's not necessary for those companies to, like, develop those things on their own. And so, like, internet performance may not be something that they have to necessarily plan for or prepare for as a particular company because the country does it on its own. These American companies are doing so because they want the whole pie. They're coming for the planet's gamers at once, and they set up their infrastructure that way.
I see. Okay. Interesting. We're gonna keep an eye on all of this.
Oh, yeah.
Check back with us next year in September when they inevitably announce the Legend of Zelda collection, and I proceed to fucking lose my mind, and Rocky has to remind me that it's because Nintendo is turning into a capitalist cesspool just like Disney.
Yeah.
And then I cry. I mean, they are making Super Mario World, which is like a fucking theme park for Mario.
Right.
I think you're right. I think they're going the Disney route.
One thing I do want to remind you of is that Nintendo did recently greenlight a deal to make a Super Mario Bros. Movie, like in the present day.
Uh-huh.
And I would not be surprised in the development of how should I say this, Nintendo Cinematic Universe that may culminate in a hodgepodge movie filled with their most iconic characters that may be called Super Smash Bros.
Don't like it. Don't like it. If Nintendo gives The Legend of Zelda anything other than the proper Lord of the Rings treatment, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it.
No, okay.
I will not look.
Tegan,
I'll look, but I will not look.
It's going to be very tasteful. What they're going to do, they're going to make Link the Captain America in their party, which is going to be funny.
The silent Captain America? Are you sure it's going to be Link who's Captain America and not fucking Mario?
No, I think Mario is probably going to be... Oh, wait.
Mario can't be Tony Stark.
Fine. Fine. If
Samus can be Tony Stark. Ooh!
No,
Samus can be Tony Stark.
If we make Samus Tony Stark and Mario's Captain America, then I guess...
Link is Thor! Link is Thor!
I would like Link to be Thor, but I feel like they're going to make Donkey Kong Thor and they'll make Link Hawkeye. But, like...
No!
But...
Don't make Link Hawkeye, make Link Spider-Man!
Well, here's the thing, Tegan. Like, because of the difference in the properties, what may actually happen is that we'll get an actual, like, Hawkeye trilogy. That was the point of my initial comparison with Captain America. That, like, we'll get 3, like, Legend of Zelda movies. Maybe as, like, but, like, handling Link as, like, an intergenerational story. Oh, what if they do 3 Link movies, and the third Link movie is what poises him as, like, the Link that meets them in Smash Bros., which would be likely Breath of the Wild Link, but also possibly Ocarina of Time Link.
Young Link or Old Link?
Old
Wind
Link.
Waker Link. No, we're making Wind Waker Link the one that meets them. He sails off into the sunset and sails right into fucking Japan Harbor.
That could be cool. The third one's just Wind Waker Link.
He just discovers this new island. It's fucking Tokyo. He's just like, oh, what a strange island. And everyone in Tokyo is like, what the fuck is with this sailboat, man?
I'm just telling you. Like, but, you know, that Nintendo Cinematic Universe will probably take roughly around as much time as the Disney Cinematic one did. So, like, what, a decade or so?
How
like,
old
really
will I be?
Together?
Am I gonna have to live until I'm 97 and be able to watch movies in theaters? Fuck.
Oh man, that would be funny. That would be pretty fucking great. But yeah, so I'm concerned about Nintendo going the Disney route. I think they may actually be doing it, and it may be one of their best business choices at the current moment, but, we'll get there when we get there.
What if they start going the Disney route and then take a hard turn?
Where?
Nintendo's very secretive about stuff, so I wonder if they're gonna start going the Disney route, everyone's gonna freak out about them going the Disney route, and then partway down the Disney route, they're gonna take, like, a hard left and surprise us. Because they are very good at, like, innovating their own actual, like, hardware to do unexpected and cool things with technology that other people aren't looking at. Nintendo's gonna be the one to create the full dive technology.
Oh, no!
You're gonna be able to full dive into The Legend of Zelda.
Honestly...
You're gonna go on to Lon Lon Ranch and you're gonna smell the cow shit.
I honestly hope that the full dive is actually created by Square Enix. But, like, I hope... You know what I hope? I actually hope that the full dive technology is created by Square Enix, but it's, like, the last thing Nomura ever does. Like,
it's the last thing Nomura ever does, but it's attached to a Kingdom Hearts game.
You know what? That's fine as long as the technology exists.
It's gonna be connected to, like, the, like, 96th Kingdom Hearts game that's gonna be the actual Keyblade War.
Oh my god.
And every single player is gonna be a Keyblade wielder in the war!
So, like, it's like Kingdom Hearts, like, X or whatever, like the browser game, but, like, full dive?
Yeah, but full dive.
You know what? That's fine.
It's gonna be like Kingdom Hearts X Recoded 2020.
God damn it. You know what? That's okay as long as I get to full dive Final Fantasy VI. Actually,
okay, fair.
There are very few things that I would refuse if you told me at the end of it I get to full dive Final Fantasy VI. But okay, anyways, I'm done talking about Nintendo. I gotta talk about Nintendo for a second, if that's okay.
Okay, Nintendo is also Nintendo. So the Nintendo thing, I watched this TikTok. Mm-hmm. It was a series, and it was, like, true Ouran High School Host Club facts, and what they mean by true is they mean, like, facts about the series that are, like, in real life sort of thing.
Sure.
So, like, the actual voice actor who did Haruhi is actually married to the actual voice actor who did Hikaru. And, like, originally the writer had them as, like, endgame for a while. So, like, that's a thing. Anyway, because of, like, the voice actors' chemistry in the studio together, because they were married. Anyway, so, like, one of the things she said was, Ouran High School Host Club has a dating sim. Okay, and it was released for PlayStation 2 and the Nintendo DS system, or the Nintendo DS system. And I'm like, you're missing an N there. The Nintendo. You know, the Nintendo. And I'm like, Nin! It's a Nin! Anyway.
Okay, so this is not quite a Nintendo story. What happened...
It's Nintendo adjacent.
Yeah, it's Nintendo adjacent. Yuzu, the most popular and reputable Nintendo Switch emulator on PC, has been modified by a company named Bylaws to create a version of the Nintendo Switch emulator that works on the Android operating system. And
so now you too can play Nintendo Switch on the go.
Well, not quite. So Bylaws, Yuzu is essentially an open source emulator. It's licensed under GPL v2, but this new emulator is closed sourced, which means like we can't see the code. The team claims to be an American studio that's been working on the emulator for over 2 years. However, their website and the emulator itself has text that's still left in Chinese with poor English translations throughout. Take that as you will.
Excellent. Okay.
Also, to use the emulator, you need to create an account with Bylaws and log in. But wait, there's more. The emulator can only be used with a specific controller, and the controller itself is only available to reviewers right now. And there are pre-orders for this controller, priced at $99.99. The controller does look very similar to the Nintendo Switch's Joy-Cons, which, you know, is fine. That only makes sense. And if you could use the emulator without the controller, that'd be one thing. But it turns out the emulator doesn't even start if the controller, this specific controller, is connected to the phone. Bylaws did confirm that the check for the controller could be theoretically spoofed to support other controllers, but they have no plans to support it. And they have actually put a lot of effort into protecting the app from debugging and patching by other people.
Oh, okay. Huh.
There are some theories that this particular emulator that allows you to play Nintendo Switch games on an Android phone was developed by the team behind the controller itself. And the whole thing is just a marketing ploy. But, no exact proof yet. It's just a theory. And there are a couple YouTubers that have shown the emulator running Nintendo Switch games like Pokemon Sword and Shield, Super Mario Odyssey, and The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, as well as Pokemon Let's Go, on a phone using the emulator with the particular controller. And it actually runs the Pokemon games pretty well. There are some slowdowns because of optimization, and maybe that gets figured out. But, if you don't want to buy a Switch, or if you can't, because it's true that there has been a significant Switch shortage in the past couple of months, this may be a solution forthcoming, provided you have a phone strong enough to run it. Looks like that you would need a pretty high-end Android phone to run the emulator smoothly.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
If Nintendo's going the Disney route, then I have concerns about how long this will be available. I mean, we know Nintendo has a history of shutting emulators down, ASAP, so...
True.
Or stealing them.
Right. Actually, if to jump back a second, that, Mario Battle Royale game isn't actually the first Super Mario Battle Royale game. If you guys remember, there was an open source one called Mario 99 that came out a couple of months ago. That was, made by, fans or whatever, and Nintendo shut that down quick. Probably because they were planning this, but, just saying.
Right.
But about this emulator, currently, it appears to still just be in China. The controller that's necessary isn't made by an American company. It is made by a Chinese one. The original, not Yuzu. Actually, no, yeah, Yuzu. Yuzu specifically, as well as the bylaws, development, seem to both be Chinese emulators. And I don't know, because Nintendo is having a hard time breaking into the Chinese market generally, but also because they're working through Tencent. And if Tencent has a hand in this, I wouldn't be super surprised. But I'm not sure what Nintendo will really be able to do about this particular emulator if all the pieces still end up staying in China. It'd be different if, someone puts it up, on the general Google Play App Store, or if, the controllers became, manufactured for American consumption. Mm-hmm. But if they don't, if it's all just imports, I don't really see a future where Nintendo really messes with them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. So.
Is it nice? I think it's nice.
I think it's.
We're going with it's nice.
I just think it's neat.
I'm glad it's trapped in China.
I'm glad it's trapped in China.
I don't know. Wait a minute. There's a way. There's a way to say what I don't know. Trying. I have feelings about it that I can't adequately express.
Oh no.
Here they are.
Oh man. But yeah, Tegan, I think you have our last story.
Yeah, speaking of apps.
Let's go. Let's get in on apps, everyone.
So, Epic, oh god. I told you we were following this, right? Epic is trying to get back on Apple's App Store. They're trying to get Fortnite back on the Apple App Store by filing... Well, they will be trying to get Fortnite back on the Apple App Store by filing a preliminary injunction against Apple on September 28th of this year. So, we got 3 weeks to let that news simmer. Apple, on the other hand, has threatened to block Epic from accessing its development SDK, which would mean that they can't do any of the updates necessary on Unreal Engine for titles that are playable currently on Mac and iOS devices. But that was blocked by a U.S. District Court judge who granted a temporary restraining order against Apple for Epic.
Wait, but hold on. Are there digital, temporary restraining orders? Maybe.
How do you do a digital restraint? If there are digital temporary restraining orders, why can't I get restraining orders against the guys who are sliding into my DMs and giving me dick pics? This is sexism. Anyway, it's because I don't have enough money. That's why. Yeah. I'm sure if I had Apple and Epic money, judges would be crawling all over themselves to give me a fucking cease and desist order against dudes with dick pics. Anyway, Epic is arguing that Apple is inflicting irreparable damage to its reputation by blocking Fortnite on the Apple Store and harming its business, while also impeding its ability to compete with Apple by offering competitive app distribution and competitive payment processing for the iOS. So that's the thing. But meanwhile, like, Google's like, please don't look at me. I do not, keep me out of it. I do not see it. We are not looking. Like, Google is like, please judges, do not take the legal battle going on between Epic and Apple into consideration when consulting our legal battle between Epic and ourselves.
We don't know them.
Yeah, right? And they're citing literally, like, Google is claiming that the cases lack requisite substantial parity in parties, transactions, and operative facts.
What does that even mean?
By basically saying there's a lot of different stuff between the iOS marketplace and the Google Play Store front. You can read the whole filing online. It's been uploaded onto a website called Scribd. But what it says, and I'm going to quote this directly, while Apple's iOS allows the distribution of apps only through Apple's proprietary App Store, Android devices, in contrast, can have multiple app stores simultaneously pre-installed or downloaded and allow for end users to sideload apps via the internet. That means Android app developers can distribute apps through multiple Android app stores, work directly with original equipment manufacturers or carriers to preload apps, and distribute apps to users directly from their own websites. As a result, Apple and Google have their own separate and unique negotiations and contracts with app developers and original equipment manufacturers. These fundamental differences in the way Apple and Google support app distribution create key distinctions in the claims and defenses in the iOS Apple cases and the Android Google cases. So basically what Google said is, like, Apple's the one being stingy. We allow multiple platforms to distribute games on Android devices, so whatever you decide to do with Apple, you can't necessarily apply to us because we do stuff differently and we create a fair sharing playground where Apple says only Apple games can play here.
Okay, so hold on. Google is definitely being really cowardly about this, but
I mean,
they may have a point.
Can you blame them?
No, this doesn't look good for Apple, and like Google doesn't want that smoke. I get it. I really do.
I get it. I 100% get it, but also, like, Epic's playing a little dirty?
Yeah, Epic's throwing hands. Like,
they really are, and Google's just like, we're not gonna catch these hands. Teacher, please, teacher,
Screaming.
Epic hit Apple, and Apple hit Epic, teacher, and Apple's like, they're hitting you too, and Google's like, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Everyone's beating me up.
Okay, no, but hold on. I do want to say this one bit about the relationship with Fortnite and like the Google App Store.
Yeah, go for it.
Google is right when they say that Google allows other like app stores to sideload onto Android devices.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like the monopoly argument won't work against Google because that is true.
Right.
But what Fortnite did, which is like basically make their in-game like pricing inside their app undercutting the Google Play Store.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is that like Fortnite can do that on their own app, sideloaded onto an Android device, which some people already do. And so if Google never let Fortnite back onto their platform, Fortnite could still run their game on Android devices. They could push their updates in a way that they can't do with Apple.
Mm-hmm.
And they could continue to sell their currency at something that would be undercutting Google's marketplace.
Right.
So like with the difference is that Apple says you're doing this on Apple devices, you don't get Apple devices anymore. While like Google's argument is a bit more like you're doing this on the Google Play Store, you can't be on the Play Store anymore. But you can still be on devices.
Right.
We don't care.
Yeah, you can still be on... We don't care. If you want to be on Android devices, that's fine. You just can't play in our playground.
Right. And...
Which is fine. But also, like... Then you have to get your Play Store specifically out. And that is going to be harder.
Right.
In a market where most people are like, oh yeah, just go to the Google Play Store, you know?
Right. And like...
But I mean, that could be good.
I feel like there should be more marketplaces. Like, I think, like, Fortnite may be in a space where they could actually have their own side-loaded app on the Android devices and run it pretty well. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, Epic doesn't want to make that move if they don't have to.
Right. But Epic could. Epic has the cash to do it.
Right. And I'd rather have a court sit there and say, hey, Epic, Google Play's completely within their right to kick you off their marketplace. And if you want to run your own marketplace, they're also cool with that too. So go do that. And then they do it. And that may be the future of that lawsuit. But, like, Google's definitely being a wuss about this right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I do have a concern where somebody is going to have to explain to some judge how app stores work.
Yeah.
It's like, remember when AOC had to explain to her fellow congressmen what Twitch was?
Yeah.
And why the army shouldn't be allowed to use it as a recruiting tool?
Right.
Like, it's gonna be that. What is a Fortnite? This is that thing my grandson is playing all the time. I'm tired of those ugly-ass dances. Like, I have a concern.
True. And, like, so, like...
Tech literacy is important, especially in law now.
Right.
Like, and I feel like if you're a judge or on a jury for a specifically tech-heavy case, and you don't have at least some level of technological competency, I'm concerned with how the case will go based on that. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like that could throw a wrench in the whole thing.
I do know that even, like, the Supreme Court has heard, like, some Apple arguments over the past couple of years that have gotten into, like, the nitty-gritty of how app stores work. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember there was something about, like, developers, like, challenging Apple specifically. And, like, Apple kind of tried to absolve themselves by saying, like, hey, like, the devs can set their own prices. That has nothing to do with us. And it's like, but if I'm taking out my credit card and I'm paying through the App Store, like, this was a judge talking. I can't remember which one. It might have been Sotomayor. But she was asking, if I take out my credit card and I pay on the App Store for something, I'm paying through Apple. And I should be expecting that money to go to the developer. But this information is telling me that's not the case. That's not how this should work. And thankfully, like, at least at the highest courts, like, there is some effort to, like, gain an understanding of, like, tech, but, like, I definitely feel like this may get lost in some district court somewhere. Sure, they'll go through the appeals process and maybe it ends up in the Supreme Court and it becomes one of those cases, but I feel like the way that courts work are definitely the less mobile of, like, our governmental forces, like, next to bureaucrats, and they are probably the least likely to be tech literate among, like, government officials, and that's going to be something that may not change anytime soon.
It needs to, though.
Right, of course.
With our ever-increasing digital marketplace and digital social space and digital everything, like, workplace, the whole thing, like, how judges and other members of the judiciary branch of our government need to make sure that they are well-informed so that they can make well-informed decisions and pass well-informed judgments in these sorts of cases.
True. And, like, a lot of that's just going to have to be democratizing, like, tech information. Mm-hmm. And, you know, some of those things, like, people just generally are just going to have, like, a stronger base understanding of technology. And that is happening, like, on a wide scale, especially with, like, Zoomers, but even, like, millennials, you know what I mean? And Gen Xers are, like, becoming more aware of how technology affects the world that they live in. And that's going to, you know, cause a couple of, like, casualties that I'm personally looking forward to, like the death of tech bros, to be honest. Because I'm sick of, like, tech bros like, hey, we're just going to, like, finagle some code and then we're going to reinvent buses. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want I don't want to hear of those people anymore. But also, like, you know, the goon who, like, gets thrown into an IT job because they know how computers work and their parents don't.
Right.
That may, like, be a less available thing for most people, but hopefully that leads to a better world where technology is used in more meaningful ways that help people instead of keep people out.
Right. Also, if you're in a tech industry, I feel like you should have to take some sociology courses or something to, like, you gotta engage those empathy skills, my dude.
I actually feel like everyone that, like, interacts with data, big or small, should have some understanding of, like, micro and macro sociology and economics.
Yeah. Man, as soon as I figure out how fucking money works, it's over for you bitches.
Oh, man. I was thinking about Bitcoin the other day because NVIDIA announced their new, like, graphics cards, and they're insane. Like, apparently, so, like, they're supposed to be the new graphics cards, and, like, they're supposed to be, like, ray tracing and whatever, but apparently they're twice as strong as, like, the strongest stuff on the market right now. Mm-hmm. And, like, no one expected them to be that strong. Like, even the devs came out and was like, hey, we didn't expect to make something this powerful, but we did.
Hey, we didn't spend time questioning whether or not we should. We were just like, I wonder if this will work. And now it fucking does. And I don't know what to do with that information.
Yeah. Luckily, they're priced pretty goofily, but not, like, incredibly so. Like, for example, like the 3070, which is supposed to replace the 2070 that we currently have, is priced at, like, $700, I think. And then the next one up's like $900. But, like, the, you know, crazy big dick fucking graphics card, the 3090, which is supposed to replace the Titan, which has recently been confirmed, is priced at like $1,400, $1,500 actually.
What the fuck?
But it's like basically billed as the most powerful graphics card known to man, and it's way more powerful than like the technical jump was expected in this past like couple of years in this next generation. So that's happening. It's supposed to be as strong as like a workstation graphics card for people who know. And it's still a graphics card. It can still ray trace and everything like that. But it's as powerful as a workstation. Graphics cards became like the tech of choice for people who were building like Bitcoin miners.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you could burn them out and then put in another one rather than having to build a new computer from scratch using like the CPU as your mining device.
Right.
And I was thinking for a second, that would be like a real shame because isn't like the last Bitcoin supposed to be like showing up in 2020? And I mixed that up. Turns out, according to current estimates, like not including these new graphics cards, the last Bitcoin is supposed to be mined in like 2140. So, you know, unless we become immortal, Bitcoin will outlive us. But the 2020 thing that I was going to remember is that if Bitcoin was not valued at $1 million a Bitcoin by this year, John McAfee was going to eat his dick on national television.
What?
Yeah. John McAfee, who's like a tech guy, he's also responsible for that like super annoying antivirus McAfee.
Oh, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
He's a millionaire. He's also a huge asshole. He is ostentatious, he's a jackass, and he's rude as hell. But he thoroughly believed in Bitcoin. He made a public promise, I believe in 2010, that Bitcoin was going to be valued at $1 million a Bitcoin by 2020. And someone pushed him on that, and he said, listen, if it's not valued at $1 million by 2020, I will eat my own dick. And he may have been speaking in hyperbole, but if you follow anything about John McAfee, you will know that he is actually categorically insane. So he might do it. He might fucking eat his dick in 2020. Who fucking knows? But
so what is Bitcoin currently at?
It's about 10 grand. I think 10.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, not near enough
not even
for him
close.
to be like,
yeah.
It's basically $1 million and get out of it.
Yeah, no, there's no way he's going to be able to cop that. It will be.
Time to eat a dick, and it's gotta be your own. Can't wait. Well, I mean, they do dick prosthetics, I'm sure.
Yeah, also, you know what? John McAfee would be the kind of dude who would eat his own dick on a bet and then replace it with a cyber penis. He would absolutely do that.
He gets a donor penis. He gets 2 donor penises that have been surgically, like, sewn together so that it's a massive dong. And he can actually be like, my working functional penis is twice as long as everyone else's.
That sounds like some shit he would do, too.
Yeah, that seems canonically accurate.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
fuck that guy.
Keep an eye out on John McAfee. That was the thing I couldn't remember with Bitcoin 2020. It's not the last Bitcoin. It's just John McAfee has to eat his own dick.
Jesus Christ. Will he do it?
Who knows? But I will keep up with it and I'll let you guys know.
Let me know. I want to know.
Oh my god. But yeah, that's all our stories, right, Teeks?
Yeah, that's all our stories.
Okay. I don't think we should do Steam because Brian's not here. And I don't think we have an email. Did we get any mail on Tumblr? I didn't ask.
Nope. We don't get mail on Tumblr.
That's fair.
Tumblr is literally, like, being on Tumblr is the best social media experience because it is only things I like, and I scream into the void, and no one answers. It's so nice. Like, you know, so all the people who, like, were like, Tumblr's a useless website, they all moved to Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So Tumblr's really, really nice now because no one gives a fuck. Like, really.
No,
it's just good.
That kind of reminds me, it's not a real story. So, like, the Red Dead Redemption, like, online servers are basically dead now.
Yeah, they're pretty dead.
But the people who are still there are saying that's actually made things better.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
Now they don't have to, like, constantly fight with, like, random, like, antagonistic roving bands.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to just kind of do questing stuff without, like, huge interruptions and random chaos, like, around them. They can just kind of play the game together, and that's kind of nice. I love that for them.
Yeah. I'm happy for people who are like, the toxic, shitty players have finally moved on to different pastures, and now we can actually enjoy our game.
Right.
That's a whole mood, and I respect it.
Oh, fuck. You know what? I went to go get groceries today. I mentioned that earlier, but I forgot that, like, I'm an adult and I can buy raisin bread whenever I want. I don't keep bread in my house.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah, I don't. Mostly because I don't use bread at a frequency enough that, like, it warrants it. And I don't have a bread box, so things tend to mold. There have been, like, I think, 3 times I've bought hamburger buns over the past, like, year and a half, where, like, the last, like, 2 or 3 will just mold in my pantry. I do pasta, and I use tortillas and stuff, but, like, and obviously I eat rice, but I don't do bread as much.
Rice keeps better, I think. Do tortillas keep better than bread? I don't know.
Tortillas keep better than bread. They do mold eventually, but nowhere near as fast.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can kind of keep them in the fridge forever. Like, it's just kind of dope. But I forgot, because one of the things that I did like doing is that occasionally my mom would buy raisin bread, because my mom loves raisin bread. God bless her soul. But I also love raisin bread, and it became a thing whenever there was raisin bread in the house. I would just kind of discover it, and I would just kind of eat 3 slices at a time ad infinitum until they were gone. But since I don't keep bread in the house, I don't have raisin bread, and I kind of want raisin bread right now. I feel like I might have to go back to the grocery store. But that's us.
That's a show.
That's a show. It's called Impossible Coin. We do it every week. Brian's usually here. He'll be back, I assume. You can find us where podcasts are found on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Tegan, can you hit the SoundCloud thing? Was Brian not here?
Oh, yeah. Fuck SoundCloud.
Thank you.
I'm like, what SoundCloud thing do I have to hit? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have to hit actual SoundCloud. Fuck SoundCloud, man. Fuck them. Feed 'em beans.
Speaking of SoundCloud, Big Soch, kid brother of the show, who made the music at the beginning and end of this podcast, keeps his work on SoundCloud. You can find him at soundcloud.com/BigSochNJ. And you know what? You can even talk to him on Twitter at Hillary_Swank. Our logo is also a t-shirt, and it was designed by Lauren Moran. You can find her on Twitter at Lauren Moran, and consider donating to her Patreon. She does the good work. And speaking of Patreon, we have one of those too. It's at patreon.com/ImpossibleCoinPodcast. It's not /ImpossibleCoin. I know that makes sense. That is a brilliant idea. We are working on it. I promise. But if you have any other questions about us or Patreon or SoundCloud or anything else, you can find us on social media. Brian's on Facebook. He may be moving to Instagram. I'm on Twitter. Tegan's on Tumblr. It's all Impossible Coin. And no dashes or underscores or anything weird like that. In fact, if you see one of those, let us know. We have a policy. It will be handled. But that's us. That's the show.
That's the show. Bye.
Later. Brian said peace. I heard him. I swear.